Well, hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, I will give you a buyer's guide for a very interesting bike brand, and this bike brand is called Aurum Bikes. So what is it all about? You know, Aurum is a Latin word for gold, so it's a very nice bike brand name. And this Aurum Bikes, you probably know the two founders of this bike brand. So it is Alberto Contador and Ivan Basso, who have started this company a few years ago. So Alberto Contador and Ivan Basso are both absolute legends when it comes to professional Grand Tour bike riders. Ivan Basso has won Giro d'Italia 2 times, and Alberto Contador has won Tour de France 3 times, Giro d'Italia 3 times, and Vuelta a España 3 times. I know I said Alberto Contador won 3 times Tour de France and 3 times Giro d'Italia. Some might argue that he only won them 2 times, but I still believe it's gonna be 3 times. So also Alberto Contador is only the second rider in the history of cycling, together with Bernard Hinault, French bike rider, very famous, who has won all 3 Grand Tours multiple times. So absolutely astonishing bike rider, Alberto Contador, and as I said, also Ivan Basso, very successful professional rider. So 2 of them are the founders of Aurum Bikes. So it is a bit of a boutique bike brand. Of course, it's going to cost a bit more than your general bikes from, let's say, a Trek Specialized Giant Canyon, but this is what you pay if you want to have a bit of an exclusive bike brand. So today, specifically, I want to focus on their Aurum Magma Essentia bike. They have their classical Aurum Magma, and then a little bit level below is their Aurum Essentia road bike. So we can first answer the question, who is this bike for? So you see, Aurum Magma Essentia is all about lightweight climbing and properly stiff road bike. Even if you look at the classical design lines of this bike, you see it's totally classical with, top tube, down tube, seat stays, everything is very classical straight lines. So this was the whole point, as Alberto Contador explained, that they wanted a proper lightweight climbing stiff machine. So if you are in the market for something like that, then definitely Aurum Magma Essentia should definitely be some of the bikes you should consider. And of course, also one of the secret sauces of this bike brand is that you have a lot of customization options, and specifically for this Aurum Magma Essentia, the first thing you can choose from is, do you want to go with the Shimano's Ultegra Di2 group set, or maybe you want to go with the SRAM group set, or as I see now, definitely the build options will depend on what is available on the market. So for example, now, as I'm seeing, you only have a Shimano's Ultegra Di2 group set combined with the Envy wheels or the Zip wheels. So let's say I'm choosing the Shimano's Ultegra Di2 with the Zip wheels. Then when it comes to the color, to the paint schemes, you have 2 paint scheme options. One is this very classical stone gray, as they call it, and then you also have the cyan blue paint scheme, which is absolutely beautiful and stunning, and I would probably go with this light blue. And of course, then you choose your size of the frame. In my case, I would need to go with size 58 in their sizing guide. And when you tick all these boxes, you will see that the retail price of this bike is 6,300 euros. So definitely, eye-watering, spicy prices, I would say. Not the cheapest one, and if you compare it with relevant bikes, for example from Giant or Trek or let's say Canyon, of course it will cost much more, but as I said, this is a pretty boutique bike brand, and if you want something special, that's the price you gotta pay. But now we can dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what do you get for 6,300 euros. And specifically, I'm here focusing on the Shimano Ultegra Di2 group set with Zip wheels. So let's kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So you see the frame is a carbon fiber frame from Aurum, their Aurum Magma carbon fiber frame. It comes with the BB386 Evo press fit bottom bracket, of course internal cable routing, 12mm through axles front and the back, and you will also have a flat mount disc brakes. Fork, again carbon fiber fork with 12mm through axles and flat mount disc brakes. I will mention here that when you buy this bike and when you register on their website, you will get a lifetime warranty on their carbon fiber frames and forks, which is of course absolutely excellent, again, considering that it is a boutique bike brand and considering the retail price. Now let's talk about the drivetrain on this bike. So what will you get? When you look at the group set, it is going to be a Shimano Di2 electronic group set. So shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything is Shimano's Di2 electronic group set. So this is the newest 12-speed group set, Shimano's Ultegra R8150 group set. And with this group set, Shimano has gone the way of a semi-wireless group set. So the shifters and the front mech are wirelessly communicating, and then between the front mech and the rear mech you have a cable connection because the whole brain of the group set sits in the rear mech. It's an excellent wireless group set. Shimano shifting is still best in the business, so absolutely won't have any problems with this Shimano's Di2 electronic group set. Now let's look at the crankset on the bike. You are getting a Shimano's Ultegra crankset, 5236 chainrings. This is paired with the Shimano's Ultegra cassette, 1130 cassette. So you see immediately here 1130 cassette and 5236 chainrings. This is a proper racer's bike. You will definitely need to have a bit more power to climb some steep mountains, and I would expect something like that from Alberto Contador. So 1130 cassette, 5236 chainrings, but luckily for you, you can always replace this cassette with, for example, 1132 cassette if you need just a little bit lower gear. Chain, they didn't cut corners here. It is a classical Shimano Ultegra chain, 12-speed chain. I always suggest you in the future to keep the Shimano's Ultegra chain, buy a new one, or even go a level higher if you really want Shimano Dura-Ace chain, just because of the compatibility with the whole Shimano Ultegra group set. Now let's talk about the braking system on the bike. So what do you get? So the brakes are Shimano's Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes, and in this case with the Shimano Ultegra braking rotors, superb heat dissipation and superb stopping power. The only thing I'm noticing here is that the front rotor is 160 millimeters, but the rear rotor is only 140 millimeters. I'm not a big fan of this 140 millimeter braking rotor at the back because it's such a less heat dissipation than the 160 millimeter and less stopping power. So what I would suggest you here, that once when you destroy this braking rotor, just replace it with a 160 millimeter braking rotor, because you will have so much better heat dissipation and stopping power. And this is ultimately what you want. It's not to save 10 grams on this braking rotor when your stopping power is worse. So this is just a little bit kind of my no-no when it comes to this 140 millimeter braking rotors at the back. Now let's talk about the cockpit and the wheel set on the bike. So when you look at the handlebars and the stem, they are both from the Deda 0100 model. Deda is a very famous Italian brand. These are aluminum pieces. I have no problems with that, and also I'm glad that both handlebar and the stem are separate pieces, classical pieces. Nothing is proprietary. Very easy to adjust your position on the bike and very easy to replace anything in the future if you really need to replace something. So absolutely top notch here. Now when you look at the seat post, it is also Deda 100 seat post. But what bothers me here is that this Deda 100 seat post is an aluminum seat post. I have no clue why they did it on this bike. In my opinion, it should have been a classical Deda carbon fiber seat post. So this is something that I would definitely replace immediately if you are getting this bike. What you want is basically a carbon fiber seat post, nice seat post that can soak up some of the smaller road bumps. So they should have definitely included a carbon fiber seat post here. When you look at the saddle, it is a Pro Logo Scratch M5, superb saddle, absolutely no complaints here from me. This saddle usually, as I say, very good, lots of riders like it, but if you don't like it, and since saddles are a personal preference, again, super easy to replace, no problems here. Now let's talk about the wheel set and the tires on the bike. So the wheels that I've chosen here are Zip 303S wheel set. You also have NV wheels, but I went with the Zip 303S wheels. So this wheel set from Zip is excellent wheel set in my opinion. It's a classical carbon fiber wheel set from Zip, and let's say if you are buying this wheel set on the open market, you see the total price for this wheel set would be approximately 1,200 euros, 1,200 US dollars. So not a cheap wheel set, but it is carbon fiber wheel set from Zip, so that's what you are paying for. This is a wheel set with Zip's own hubs front and the back. It is a wheel set for tubeless tires, hookless wheel set. 45 millimeters is the rim depth, and also internal rim width is 23 millimeters, which is very nice. Also keep in mind that the maximum tire pressure you can run on this wheel set is 73 psi, and also the maximum weight this wheel set will take is 130 kilograms. You know, the rider and all the equipment you are carrying, and of course the bike weight. And also I will mention here that the total weight of this wheel set is 1,530 grams, so very competitive, light carbon fiber wheel set in my opinion. So no problems here, and also Zip wheel sets come with their lifetime warranty, so definitely no problems with this wheel set in the future. The tires on this wheel set are Challenge Strada Pro, a tubeless tire, 25 millimeters tubeless tire. I believe that in this case, I hope they set it up already tubeless, but if not, you should get yourself your own, tubeless valve and the tubeless tape to set these wheels tubeless. These are 25 millimeter tires. Again, this is something probably from Contador and Ivan Basso requiring the tire to be 25 millimeters. Okay, it is fine out of the box, but if you want a bit more smooth ride, you should definitely buy yourself a 28 millimeter tire, just because you will have so much more air volume and a smoother ride. So in a summary, what is my advice to you if you are thinking about this Aurum Magma Essentia bike, specifically in this Shimano Ultegra Di2 build, where the retail price is 6,300 euros. Well, my only complaint about this bike is this seat post, which they are using the Deda 100 aluminium seat post. I think it should have been a carbon fiber seat post, because as I said, the price is 6,300 euros, so definitely they should have, chucked in some good carbon fiber seat post. Except from that, of course, it's an excellent build quality, and as I said, you are paying a premium price because it is a boutique bike brand. You won't see so many Aurum bikes on the market, so definitely this is something you are paying for. You can think about it almost as, buying a Ferrari or Lamborghini. That's what you are paying for, a bit of exclusivity with this bike, and of course the founders, which are Alberto Contador and Ivan Basso, that also brings the price up. So this is a very specialized bike for people who can really afford 6,300 euros retail price, because if you compare it with the likes of Giant, Trek, Specialized, Merida, Canyon, of course they can do it a bit cheaper on the same build levels. So I think this is gonna be it for today, a bit different episode than my usual one. I hope you like it, I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!